Now, Tom, what are we doing? What's our video? What's this video about?
My father's past cars, like sports cars.
So we're going through my list of sports cars I've had, and we're going to try to make them on Forza. So right now, this is a Triumph Spitfire. In high school, a friend of mine his dad had a Spitfire that he used to drive, and it was like a nice teal blue. And I had a Triumph TR7 that I bought off my neighbor. It was red, white racing stripes. Now there's no TR7 in this game, and for good reason. It's it looks pretty cool, but it's not that good of a car. And so we're gonna do the Spitfire at least with the red and white racing stripes, same color wheels, roll bar, and we're gonna keep going through right up until the car that we have now. So that looks pretty cool. Spin it around. Look at that. That's, I wish I had a Spitfire. Very nice. So after the Triumph, had a run with a lot of four-wheel drives and Jeeps and stuff. And then my next sports car I got, I guess, was an Alfa Romeo 147. More of a hatchback commuter, but it looked really hot. So is there an Alfa 147? Where's Alfa? Alfa Romeo, there you go. And there's none. Well, I had a nice black little 147. We'll throw a picture up of it. Didn't do much, it just had iBox springs in it and some different 18-inch wheels, but we'll have a picture up here. And okay, after the Alfa came the WRX, and it was a 2004 Peanut Eye WRX hatchback, like the little wagon. So I don't think we have any Peanut Eyes at all, so we'll have to build up the next one, which will be a 2008. All right, let's build it up. The 2008 hatch, there we go. Let's see if we can get that looking let's see if we can get that looking like my WRX.
Lucky for us, I already own one.
Good.
I just need to skip over there.
So
it turns out we don't have the wagon of it, and I was a stupid person, and I didn't realize I had one of these. So let's try.
You had a regular sedan. Okay, let's build it up. First off, mine was black.
All right. Easy.
Yeah, I know you can do that. Manufacturer color, black. Done. Next up, my wheels were not gold.
What color?
My wheels were gray. Yep. And I had some teen coilovers in it. So we need to drop this thing down a little bit. It's riding a bit high.
So we're gonna change the wheels first. My dad didn't have an SWRX.
I didn't have. I had WRX. I didn't have the BBS. What factory wheels are the options on this? What do they give you? Only the one?
Yeah.
Okay.
So we're gonna try and find.
Go back. That's one. No, next. That other zigging. No, next to it. Yeah, that's similar. Yeah, put them on. But make them gray.
It's gray. It's bad shading.
Oh, it's just the coloring. Okay, now we need to lower it a bit.
Think that stains.
There we go. That's more the height. Well, yeah, that's about the height mine. There you go. Mine was actually not super low. It was set for performance. Yep, that's it. That looks like a good height. Same height as mine. No. We need sway bars now. We didn't have any internal bracing. There you go. I had white line front and rear sway bars, so pop those on. Yep. We need the sport rear, and you got the other front as well. Put a sport front. I still have white line. I've had white line sway bars on most of my cars, and our new Audi has the grip kit as well. No, I didn't have any wings or spoilers. That was it. And then I did a exhaust. So let's get an exhaust on this thing. I had a turbo back exhaust from X-Force,
Yeah.
and we had a custom tune on it from Chip Torque,
That's impossible.
and it was 180 kilowatts at the wheels, which is not bad for a car in 2004 with just a exhaust and tune. And I also had an STI intercooler on it, which was pretty cool. All right, so there we go. Let's have. I didn't have a WRC scoop because I had roof racks, because I always had surfboards on the roof. Okay, here we've got it. The wheels are gray. We have an exhaust and a tune. We have sway bars like the white lines, red calipers because mine was a WRX, not an STI, so it had red calipers, but it did have DBA rotors, so it had slotted rotors on it. It did have an STI intercooler, and there we go. Just like, there you go, STI intercooler. Hello. So that's just like our WRX. Yep, and then what Evo do we get?
7.
Yep, so I had a white, after I sold that, I got a white Evo 7, so let's get an Evo. And there's a 9, there's an 8. I guess we'll have, there's no 7, so we're gonna have to modify the 8. So we gotta modify this one because we've done this for,
My sister.
yeah, it was pretty cool.
And I don't want to do that my Evo 8 because it's the special Fast and Furious one.
Okay, so ours was white. There you go. And we had TE, that's got the BBS, MR and 9 BBS, but we had TE 37s. That's right, I had 18-inch TE 37s on it. So we'll have to get some TE 37s gray. So cleaning it up, I got, so mine, yeah, TE 37s, and I had gas coilovers with Swift springs. We had 12 kilo Swift springs front and rear, and we actually put those into our race Evo that we had after because it was such a nice suspension setup. So after we had a 7, which I'll put a picture up, and my business partner had a 9, things were getting pretty fast, so we decided to get a race car and put the best parts of each of our cars onto it, and that way we could go lighter weight, roll cage, and then not have to worry about driving on the street. We just trail it around. So I'll put a picture up of that. Had a pretty fast car, that race car we had. Okay, get some wheels. There we go, yep.
May change color.
And ours were gunmetal gray.
Which will change what width?
They were 8.5 wide, 18 by 8, so that's 17. No, we need 18. Go bigger diameter.
Which one? This is the width.
Just go to 245s. There you go. Yep. And now make them 18s.
245.
Suspension wise, like I said, we had some good coilovers in it. We also had white line sway bars front and rear. And I also had the white line roll center kit, which is a new ball joint. So when you lower it, you don't change the roll center of your car in handling, which can really mess things up if you lower a car too much. It actually makes it feel more top heavy than it is, even though you've lowered it. Looks good. Looks really good. So we went from that car. I sold mine. My business partner sold his red Evo 9, and we put the best parts of each onto an Evo 7 RS, which is a factory, no sound deadening, shorter ratio gearbox. What the Mitsubishi factory sells to people and race teams as a basis of the track and rally cars. So we'll start building it into that now. Now, I did have we had a Varis front bumper on it. There you go. We didn't have side skirts. I had Forza side skirts, didn't put them on because it just messed up the jack points. You couldn't do it. The rear bumper, we'll put them on, there you go, Forza side skirts. The rear bumper had a pretty awesome, there we go. It was actually that's it. So it was a JDM spec, which is similar to that. And we had a HKS style rear diffuser, which looks just like that. And we did put our carbon heat shield on to make sure we didn't burn the paint. Wing wise, we ran the factory Evo 7 wing, which is fully adjustable. And I had an aftermarket blade in it, which gave it a little bit more of a gurney flap. So for this setup, we'll just stick with the factory because that's as closest to the one that we had. If we just go the factory setup wing. There we go. And that is like R7. Okay, now let's turn it into we're turning into the time attack car. My time attack car, check out the picture here, pretty awesome. You liked it, Tom? You liked the race car, didn't you? Okay, it was matte black. One of the first wrapped cars around here. So let's make this. We had 17s on the race car because we ran a wider tire. We actually ran full Michelin slicks on it. And I had two sets of wheels. I had TD37s, but we just had those, so we'll change them up. I had Graham lights. So let's get some, there you go.
Oh.
I saw some. There we go. I had Graham lights just like those.
57 optimized?
I had 57s, except they were called 57 fluoro. And they were fluoro because they were fluoro green. So let's get some 57 optimized on there. Let's paint them.
So we're just doing the paint stuff now. I mistake before.
There we go. We are matte black. No, maybe a bit brighter than that. What's below that one? Down, over. Go brighter.
This?
That looks that looks like it, yeah. There we go.
Tints?
Tints, it was a race car, didn't have tinted windows at all. After that car, I took a break for a couple years. And then I came back at it, but because we had you and your sister, so we're on a little bit more of a budget with the racing, and we got into small, fun performance cars, and the answer is always
M5.
That's correct. The answer is always Miata or MX-5, and we got an MX-5. I got an NA. Pretty cool. There it is.
And I made it before this episode.
Yeah, he's already had it. So I'll put a little picture of our NA. It was a black 89 Japanese import, so limited slip diff, 1.6 liter. Modified it a little bit. Again, changed up just all about handling. So we put some coilovers in it. We put in a white line front and rear sway bars. We put in so a nice set of tires. We had Kumo KU36s, which are like a semi-slick tire.
And always we have that 57 optimized.
Yep, and we had another set of 57 optimized in bronze that time on there. So I had a garage very front lip, just like that. The only thing I couldn't get on this game was our headlight Nakaduck, but I had a pretty cool setup there. So you can see this one here in the side profile shot, and then you can compare it to the real one that we had. See if you think it's pretty close. And that was a fun little car. NAs are really fun. They're a bit rattly, but they're a great time. So had that for a little bit. Then I sold it, and we managed, after that, we had another brief run with a green MX-5 and NB series that time that had the fixed headlights, so I haven't made one of them. And then I had a little red bug-eye WRX, which needed a lot of just tidying up. People used like blocks of wood to close off the blow-off valve return lines and stuff, so they got a more choo-choo. So we're chasing things like that, fixing it up. And it just started getting a bit of a pain, so then we sold that and waited for an awesome car, and we ended up with another MX-5 This time it was the last of the NBs. It was the
Mazda Speed.
So the factory MX-5 turbo. Here it was in Australia. It was called the SE because they can't use speed in any marketing for cars because it's road safety. People get very angry about it. But in America, it was the Mazda Speed MX-5. And that's the color we had, the heavy metallic cherry red.
And we didn't have those weird headlight colors.
Yeah, we didn't have the weird headlight covers, but that was an option, but we didn't go for it. Fun car, turbo back exhaust. We had the same Enki RPF 1s, one of our favorite wheels. They're a bit big here, but we had them in a 15x8 with a 225 tire, 225 45 15 tire, I'm pretty sure it was. Engine wise, we did an air intake, which is the biggest gains of power on these things are choke because they use a little factory air box that the naturally aspirated car uses. And we replaced a manual boost controller to wind the boost up and a turbo back exhaust.
And it was right, I think it was like around here.
Yep. And we had a new blow off valve on it because the factory plastic ones there leak. Good picture of it, it shows all the details there. Fun car, you can see on top of the strut brace there, there's a looks like a double beam. That's actually a line for a factory catch can. So we had a roll bar installed and I ran Sparco seats in it so I could get a bit lower. Still, there's a picture here I'll put up. It's pretty funny. My helmet racing still kind of sticks up above the roll bar. Suspension wise, we put in some MCA, a good Australian brand coilovers, and we didn't have to do the sway bars in this because they came with Mazda Speed heavy duty sway bars. They from factory have a tougher gearbox with shot peen gears. They got a biggest brakes that have ever been on that MX-5 up until that point. And they went pretty good. That car had about 130 kilowatts at the wheels when I sold it. I still keep in touch with the guy who bought it. He's gone and done more work to it and more tuning and is approximately just under 160 kilowatts at the wheels, which makes it for a very, very fast car indeed. So that was fun. We had that for a while. We actually sold it. I thought I had all the ads taken down because I decided to keep it. He saw one and he said, I don't care, I want it. So after the SE, Tom, what did we get?
Evo 6 Tommy Mackinnon.
Yep, that was a fun car. So we will load.
And actually, my guy name is Brenda.
Yeah, your username is Tommy John Mackinnon. So the Evo 6.5 Tommy Mackinnon was the car they did to celebrate the multi-world time rally winner Tommy Mackinnon. Pretty cool car, pretty special. Compared to a regular Evo 6 that was out previous to it, it had a shorter steering rack, so it was lightning quick steering. It had a little bit more modified engine with a different turbo. It had a titanium scroll wheel turbo. It had a front bumper with a big air intake on the side, and it was one of the only asymmetric front bumpers on a car that's ever been around. So that's an air intake on the other side that goes right into the engine, and the other side, the big hole, is for an oil cooler. Yeah, but that was fun. That's the most raw of the Evos. Definitely one of our favorite cars we've owned. Ours is white like this. We did put a sticker kit on it. The Tommy Mackinnons in the red was an option to get a factory sticker kit like the rally cars, but we put one on ours.
Yeah, but it would take like 10 hours for me to put it on.
Yeah, it's too hard to draw up on this, so it's fine. Our wheels on our car were the same as this. They were the Enki
Tarmac Evos.
That's right, and ours were the forged, very rare, 17 by 8.5, but the forged construction, so light, strong, classic 5-spoke. We ran a 245 4017 Hankook RS3, which is a nice tire you can run on the track with. Brake-wise, we had DBA 4000 front and rears, and we ran Project Mu HC Plus pads on it. So it was predominantly sitting in the garage, that car, but we did take it to tracks, we did take it to car shows and car meets and stuff like that. It's pretty cool. So really enjoyed that car. I've got tons of pictures that I'm putting up here now because it was a fairly recent car for us.
And it was definitely the most special to me.
Most special to you? Because it was your name on it. Yeah, so it was pretty fun. The Tommy Mackinnon was a nice car. Said very raw, with still a few, it had electric windows and aircon, but not that flash. Suspension wise, we had DMS, Drummond Motorsport, which do rally suspension. We had DMS 50s in it, and a street tune coilover, street tarmac spec, I should say, coilover. Cusco front and rear sway bars, which came on the car. We replaced all the bushings, basically everything, because of the age of the car being a 1999, and we had it up to 2018. All the rubber was quite perished in the engine and suspension, so all the bushings were replaced, all the hoses were replaced. We had a light tune on it. We had a NVIDIA dump pipe and front pipe into a Turbo XS catback, which was nice and quiet, well, quietish. All up, it was 185 kilowatts at the wheels, but the suspension and the weight of this car and the handling of the all-wheel drive was just next level, and it's just really set up well and really balanced well. So it lives on. I sold it to a friend who then sold it to another contact I had. Still see it around. He's gone further with it with a new motor, built motor, lots of power, and we'll put a few pictures of that up because it's just insane now. Next level kind of track car. Now we sold the Tommy. It was fun, but we had our time with it. And then we stepped into the more modern age of the Germans. And the Germans are pretty quick. So
we got an S3, but we don't have an S3 in the game. So, and we didn't do the RS3 because it looks so different.
They have the only ones in here are the 2015 S1. Now we have a 2015 S3, or the older style in the RS3 Sportback. So we did up this to match ours. So ours is a Amalfi white, which is like a slightly off-white. I haven't changed the wheels. I've just gone OEM plus with a lot of this. So we've got the bigger wheels. It is a performance pack car, but in the 18s, I've just got a set of the performance pack 19s, which are a lighter weight forged wheel. It is a DSG. It is very fast, right off the showroom floor. Our car being DSG, we have lots of DSG fart sounds coming from on the shifts. I've just got a center resonator delete on the exhaust. We've upgraded the coil packs to the latest version, and I've got a JB4 tuning box, which is, you can have different maps uploaded to it. We're currently running a fairly smooth, kind of moderate boost map. Suspension wise, again, trying to get them to handle well. It is a front wheel drive based hatchback that can be all wheel drive. So we've got the White Line grip kit, which is sway bars, end links, and we've removed the factory adjustable dampers for a set of KW V3, very fancy. They are adjustable in both bump and rebound, and of course height. So we're just dialing that in now. We'll have a couple pictures of that with the installs and stuff. Good fun. And we just had a lot of fun with it. We put few things, like we put an RS3 style grill on it. We modified the factory airbox, but for the most part, our upgrades have been suspension and braking. The DB, we have two-piece rotors in the front, DBA 5000s with some nice pads, braided lines, high temp fluid, and it's just a car that's very, very quick, very capable from factory. We've just made it hold up a little bit better on the track with some better brakes and some bit better suspension. And that's to where we are now. That's it. We finish off with the Audi. But we've had some pretty fun cars, and we'll have some more fun ones in the future.